I have read Empire of Silence. It is book 1 of 7, which is supposed to be out in November. This is a sci-fi out in space. You've got philosophy in here, you have aristocratic politics in here, you have religious dominions in here, and all surrounding war, and there's torture too. We have a one point of view. This is a world so far in the future. Humans have spread across galaxies, and they've gone so far, and it's been so long that they have lost Earth. They don't even know where it is anymore. It's practically a myth now, and it's part of the main religion that one day Earth will come back and everything will be right again. This is a world where, you know, if you have enough money, you don't get pregnant anymore. You do designer test tube babies, and you can take the best features of both the guy and the lady, take all of those. You can add in extras, for instance, if you do this kind of test tube thing, you usually live for a few hundred years, whereas if you don't have the money to do this and you're born naturally, you live as we normally do now. This is a world where humans have been in a war with an alien race called the Silian alien race. It's been going on for centuries. We follow Hadrian Marlowe. He is the eldest son of a very well-to-do family. Like, they run the area that they live in. This book is basically an account of his adult life and how he came to do what he did. It's Sun Eater. So he takes out a son, kills like the entire alien race apparently. So this is how he gets there, and he's actually kind of a decent guy, especially when you compare it to his dad or his younger brother. He kind of cares about people, and so it'll be interesting to see how he gets from there to there. But they are a very affluent society. You have to do things not because you want to, but because it's expected of you to do them. But then he kind of ends up going off in the world, and he's kind of like a Jon Snow. He's learned all these things because he, was in a very affluent family. He's learned languages and learned how to fight from, the best of the people, and he ends up taking untrained people under his wing to kind of show them how to do some stuff. His dad had very specific plans for him. It wasn't to rule in his stead when he eventually dies at some point. He wanted to put him in a position that would help him instead, to kind of have more power for the family and everything. And Hadrian wanted nothing to do with that, because usually those people, they do go around the galaxies and you get to see all the new things, but you're also torturing along the way, and he just was not about that. And his refusal of this is pretty much where his adventure starts. It took a very long time for me to get into this book. Not that it wasn't interesting. It has a very interesting storyline. The pacing was a little slow, but I've read slower, so it's not that either. But for some reason, I could not care if I picked it up or not. It took maybe 50%, 70% to be invested in the story. So be prepared for that if you do pick this up. I understand that it really pops off in book 2, so you do have to make it through this first book and get to book 2, and then decide if you really want to do the series or not. We do end up meeting a lot of people in this book, so I would suggest that you don't start this series unless you have the ability to kind of marathon your way through it. Don't leave a lot of time in between, because you'll forget people. I was doing that within book 1. I'm like, who's this person again? Definitely make sure you have the time to marathon it.